Changeling, a Book of Qualities by Aidan Wachter. This is Aidan's third book in his series, the first being 6 Ways and the second being Weaving Fate. Both of these books were extremely well received, very well reviewed, including by myself. I loved both of these books. Well, this third book I think is even better, if that were even possible, and not even just a little bit better, but even a lot better. It's probably going to become one of my most regularly recommended books. I think that this is perfect in so many ways. I mean, okay, given the fact that it's a paperback book, right? You know that I love my pretty books, but regardless of the fact, I'm talking about in terms of how useful this is. Although it's not an ugly book. I mean, it's you know, the nice waxy style of his other 2 books. That aside, let's talk about what the contents are, because this is really what makes this book so extraordinary. So we've got a book in 2 major parts, right? There's an introduction and then we've got 2 parts. A book of qualities in which Aidan describes the various qualities that may be attributed to a witch. And I'll show you exactly the format in which he does that shortly. I say may be attributed to a witch because these are qualities that a witch may disagree with, a person who might call themselves a witch may disagree with, but he suggests that if there's anything that you strongly disagree with, or even something that you feel excited about, right? Just a bit nonplussed about, then those possibly could be worth spending a bit more time with than the ones that you strongly agree with. And I think that's quite a healthy approach, actually. And then there's a second part, which is a praxis, and it's just a gold mine, an absolute, the whole book is a gold mine, but the praxis has got I could comfortably say that anyone could pick up this book as their only book on magic, and for this to be their guide, and for them to have no other book on magic, and for them to be quite comfortably satisfied with the fact that many, I will say all, of the essential aspects of being a non-denominational practitioner of magic, non-denominational being quite an essential word here, right? And I'll qualify that in a moment as well. But yeah, if you're not interested in being specifically a this, a that, or the other, and you just want to get going with magic, and you just want a practice that is useful to you and satisfying and actually covers you from a practical perspective, but also from a spiritual perspective, this has got everything you need. I am absolutely flabbergasted. 220 something, 229 pages in total, including the bibliography. And this is the reason why the other day, when I was talking to Justin Sledge from the Esoteric channel in our 2-way interview there that some of you may have seen, I gave this as the most value pound for pound, right? I mean, this is just extraordinary. Extraordinary. I wish more books that I read had this much packed into so few pages. All right, let me just read to you this little paragraph here that got me so excited. A note for non-witches. I don't view witchcraft as an exclusive thing. Anyone can use and work with any part of this book. It's not limited to only those who think of or call themselves witches. Think of or call themselves witches, excuse me. Witchcraft is viewed here primarily as a conceptual vessel or container for a worldview and related practices that can help us to have a better life. Many that would never consider themselves witches practice what I think of as aspects of the craft. The qualities and practices that follow are fundamental concepts, questions, and approaches that anyone can use if they are ready and willing to work magic. For those not prepared to cast a spell, there's much fuel for contemplation here as well. Do what seems good to you. And that's exactly what he delivers. If you're not interested in the label of a witch, then there's so much here for you anyway. In fact, the majority of his introduction here, he talks about how he rejected labels from an early age, as did I. In fact, I found myself agreeing with pretty much every, I say pretty much, no, with every single thing that he said here. I found myself just nodding along, going, yes, I could have written these. No, I could not have written this. His words could have come from me. Yeah, just a deep agreement, right? So then what we have here is page after page, I think it's about 56 different aspects of what it means to be a witch, different qualities that a witch might identify with. So there's a description of the quality itself, and then there's a practice for exploring this particular aspect oneself. So sometimes it's quite an engaged, prop-heavy practice, and sometimes it's just something to think about. Sometimes it's just a charm. Sometimes it's just something, just a little poem to recite, right? Just lots and lots of different aspects of being a witch. So let's give you a couple of examples. A witch is a watcher. So you have the full details here of what his thoughts are on that. A few questions to ask yourself about this particular aspect of being a witch, and then the practice itself. So yeah, including a little charm here at the end. And every single one of these follows more or less this format. So yeah, just fantastic. And then, as if that weren't enough, right? Then you get the second, let's say the third third of the book, which is praxis. And this is just page after page of powerful, potent rituals and spells that have been, denominationalized. I'm sure that's not a word, but I'm sure you know what I mean. All of this becomes the essence of what it might originally be. So yes, you have an LBRP. It's not called an LBRP. It's called I can't remember, something about crossroads, calling the four roads. Here we go. That's what that one is. But there are lots and lots of other practices as well. There's a beautiful shielding practice. There's just lots and lots and lots of great workable spells for, there's a whole section here for asking for things, and I really like that as well, the fact that he's very aware that a witch is a human being living in the world, right, and therefore needs certain things, and so therefore is going to need to be able to ask for certain material outcomes, and yeah, it's all here, how to do it all. I'm not going to go on for much longer. I think you've got the general idea. I think that this is an extraordinary book. I think it's fantastic. It's surprisingly expensive if you don't know what's inside, right? If you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is just a little paperback with 200 or so pages, and I think it's around £30 sterling. I think that's about right. Maybe it's $30. Either way, it is extremely cheap for what you're actually getting. You're not paying for materials here. You're not paying for pretty paper and a gorgeous cover. You're paying here for Aidan's experience distilled for you in 220 pages. I would be willing to pay 10 times that much. I would have been willing to pay at the beginning of my practice. I would have been willing to pay 100 times that much to have, all of this distilled down into 200 pages. Just the most essential stuff. He's done an enormous service to the witching, the sorceress community, the magical community at large. And yeah, I can't recommend this enough. Well done, Aidan. Thank you so much for putting out a book of qualities that is really a book of quality. No pun intended, or actually a pun very much intended there. There we are. Please, guys, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I think we're about 200 subscribers off the full 100,000 subscribers mark. That'll be really exciting if I could wake up tomorrow morning to see that we've passed that number. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.